Riyadh Air, per Financial Times, is targeting substantial expansion as it gears up for a launch, but notes, very importantly, it's not clashing with neighbours such as Emirates and or Qatar Airways. The upcoming Saudi Arabia-based carrier emerged with pretty ambitious plans, as you may recall, backed by significant funds. When launched, the airline will initially fly with Boeing 787s as it's part of Saudi Arabia's broader goals to improve the economy by 2030 and make the location a prime destination to visit. Due to its geographical position, it was often pitted against the likes of Emirates, Qatar and Etihad, potentially looking at stealing market share away from these airlines and making Saudi Arabia a global hub. Well, yes, the latter is true. However, thanks to new comments from Tony Douglas, it indicates the airline isn't aiming to battle closely with neighbours in the Gulf region, instead looking to forge its own path in the Saudi market. It is described as a niche market for the airline, but one that has great potential. What Mr. Douglas means by niche in this regard is that he wants to focus solely on Saudi Arabia and not worry too much about those other markets. Calls that the airline maybe won't be commercially viable were rejected by Tony Douglas, who yes, said he understood that the plans were aggressive and ambitious, but believes there are a lot of possibilities for the company to dive into, to make it a success in the long term. This includes what he hopes is to be offering the best onboard experience seen globally, emphasizing really the guest experience when getting on board a Riyadh Air service. Riyadh Air additionally wants to make Saudi Arabia a destination people visit rather than transit through. This is maybe something seen more so with Gulf carriers like Qatar Airways, the specific example highlighted by Mr. Douglas, who said that many of the traffic that filters through Doha goes onwards rather than staying in Doha. And that is something they don't want for Riyadh Air. They want people staying in Saudi Arabia. And it is worth mentioning that Saudi Arabia has a population of 35.95 million people as of 2021 figures. This is up from the 9.365 million in the United Arab Emirates and only 2.68 million in Qatar. Therefore, you could say the country already has a massive head start thanks to its population, which will aid it in not just being a transit location. Significant investments in sporting and more are also set rising above competition in terms of interest. The Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund is backing the launch of Riyadh Air, which will operate with the already flying Saudia, a company you may have heard of that recently got a substantial amount of support in the form of new aircraft as well. These two airlines will operate simultaneously, so Riyadh Air is not intending to replace the currently existing Saudia. The airline hopes to target a launch in the coming years as it welcomes its first Boeing 787, a series that has been selected to drive operations at the company forward. However, Tony Douglas does still remain hesitant about the ongoing supply chain crisis that has delayed deliveries and impacted some carriers' rebound from the pandemic. In addition to all of this, and while not directly mentioned by Tony Douglas in the most recent interview, over the past couple of months, and especially at the 2023 Paris Air Show, we learnt of Riyadh Air's intent to look towards a narrow-body aircraft, potentially in the form of the 737 MAX, with orders in the 3 digits, to boost its flying on more short-haul services, with the 787 being predominantly used for those long-haul operations. What are your thoughts on Riyadh Air? They have not even launched yet, and their plans are labelled as aggressive, ambitious, and by some exciting too. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching, take care and be safe, and I'll see you next time.